President-elect Trump does appear to be poised to sweep all 7 battleground states. ABC News now reports Trump is projected to win Nevada. That leaves Arizona as the last battleground state that is still too close to call. Democrats have flipped 2 House seats in New York meantime. ABC News, though, has not yet projected which party is going to control the House. So let's bring in ABC News Washington Bureau Chief and Political Director Rick Klein for more here. Rick, we know Republicans have taken control of the Senate. Do they look likely to hold on to their House majority? What are you watching for?
Yeah, that 212 number is a big one right now. There are about 20 races left to be projected, and the Republicans need to win just 6 out of those 20 to hold on to the House by the barest of majorities. I think most people that I've talked to expect that to happen, that they will have a majority, maybe similar to the 4-seat majority that they've had in the past, but it might be narrower, and it's still a possibility, depending on what happens, particularly in some of these California races that could take weeks to count all the ballots in. It could still happen that Democrats pull off an upset, but at this point, it would be a very unlikely scenario. I think the likeliest one is that we have a Republican House in addition to a Republican Senate, and that is a very narrow majority in the House.
So looking at this likely possibility, Republican control of House, Senate, and White House, and conservative majority on the Supreme Court, what does that look like in terms of government functionality?
It means that Donald Trump has far more power to do as he promised to do and as he wishes to do going forward. It's not just the numbers, it's also the makeup of inside those numbers. So many of these new members of Congress have come on through Donald Trump's coattails. Mitt Romney, for instance, he's retiring. Mitch McConnell is not going to be the Republican leader any longer. He's going to serve out the rest of his term, but there'll be a new Republican leader chosen next week, and it'll probably be someone that has Donald Trump's stamp of approval. If it's Mike Johnson, that's someone, again, that has Donald Trump's stamp of approval. And yes, the court minimum 6-3 for his term in terms of the Republican supermajority. It could be more depending on the health and the future prospects of some of the Democratic appointed justices. So it is going to be a much different time in Washington than Donald Trump experienced the first time around.
With so much Republican control, is any effort by the Democrats to push back futile? Is there anything that they can do?
Well, if you don't have the gavel, then it's very hard to push back significantly. Being in the minority kind of stinks if you're either party. I think the margins in the Senate will matter and in the House because there's always going to be a few moderates, not many, who might defy. But I think the attention is going to turn to the courts and to the states. There's still there are many other courts that have justices and judges that might side with Democrats or with plaintiffs to stop something. It's also going to empower states like California and Colorado and New York, places with Democratic governors have already started to talk about how they are going to make sure that their citizens' needs and desires are served. But it is going to be a rough ride to be a Democrat in Washington.
All right, Washington Bureau Chief and Political Director Rick Klein, thank you very much.